look at the sheet. Lay down the plans for the family to meet. We talking protection, we talking the growth. Securing the legacy, honoring the oath. From the policy sign to the deeds in your hand. It's time that we teach you to master the land. No more guessing games in the dark of the night. We bringing the truth and we turning on the light. Because the foundation you build has to stand through the rain. We clearing the doubt and we healing the pain. Don't let the tomorrow just slip through your fingers today. Listen close to the words that I say. This is the kitchen table talk, keeping it real. Protecting your pocketery, writing the deal from life insurance safety to real estate dreams. We breaking down barriers, busting the schemes, yeah, we building it right, making it last, securing your future, healing your past. I see the confusion when numbers get deep. Believe in your family exposed.
Hey, welcome back to Eddie Metro channel. Hey everyone, welcome back. And here's the question for you to get the thing rolling. Do you think you get denied for life insurance? A lot of people assume they won't get, they won't qualify, and and because of that fear, they never apply, leaving their families with zero protection other than what they can get at work. Problem is, a lot of people, fortunately, don't pass away at work. Today, we're going to break down what actually can get you disqualified from life insurance, and some of the answers or things I come up with may be surprising. Let's start with the truth. Most people can get some form of life insurance, but there are certain factors that can get you denied for truly traditional, fully underwritten policies, or at least push you into a high risk category, with higher premiums. That's not where you want to be. The biggest one, is is the health conditions, things like a recent cancer diagnosis or treatment, advanced heart disease, kidney failure that requires dialysis, or terminal illnesses, of course, can result in denial from traditional coverage. Insurance companies, they look at your medical history, and for larger policies, especially the more you go past a multiple of your income, they also were going to require some type of medical exam and blood work. Next up will be dangerous hobbies. And I always tell people, if you're thinking about putting a motorcycle into your, adding it to your lifestyle, call me first and make sure your insurance is set up. It's not going to cost you as much as some other things, but it's going to cost you more if you have a motorcycle, registered to your name. So if you're not to certain dangerous hobbies, especially for occupations like a professional skydiver, a deep sea commercial diver, especially if you are welders, it's very dangerous. Or you fly small aircraft for fun, you like to parachute for fun, a lot of my viewers are all you guys like to get in a perfectly good plane and find a good reason and a nice patch of green grass to jump out of it because you just love skydiving so much, so insurers see that as a high risk, and it might get you an automatic denial. Usually it's going to be coupled with something else, but it's possible. So before you get into all that, before you post all the pictures to your social media, or if all you jumping out of these planes and stuff, let's take care of this piece first. But it can mean higher premiums in a lot of cases, or exclusions. And what they would do is say, okay, you like mountain climbing? Okay, we got you covered for everything but mountain climbing. That's called an exclusion. It's like, you sign a deal, like, long as you don't pass away, hanging out the side of Mount Everest, hey, we got you. We got your family covered. Yeah. Now, then there's your driver's record. Oh yeah. Some of you Georgia graduates up there, your driving record and criminal history, multiple DUIs, reckless driving charges, excessive, what they call super speeder laws in certain states, a felony conviction, especially something recent, can raise red flags for insurers because, things statistically correlate with a higher mortality rate. What that means is because you do all this stuff, from what they have learned, people that do all this stuff seem not to live as long. All right. So they're going to take that into consideration. Oh, yeah. This one right here, the next one up. Tobacco and drug use is a big one. Now, using tobacco won't actually get you denied outright, but you would see a significant increase in your premiums. Last time I did one for a young man, wasn't that old, 26. He was supposed to be paying maybe like 30. Let's just say $30. And I clicked that button and sent that thing in and said smoker, it doubled. That's without even underwriting. They didn't care how much he weighed. They didn't care what he looked like. That just doubled. And that was a cigarette smoker. Different companies treat all types of smoke different. There are companies in certain parts of the United States and most in the Midwest, they would deny you for illegal smoking, marijuana. And some West Coast companies, they down with the Mary Jane. They don't even treat it like cigarettes. And then cigars are kind of acceptable depending on how much you do smoke cigars. They don't hit you as hard as they do cigarettes because I guess there's just something about cigarettes. And like I said, it could double, more than the rate of a non-smoker. But, currently illegal drug use, that can be a grounds for denial entirely. And like I said, depending on what drug you're talking about, if it's found in your bloodstream when they do a blood test. Now, finally, I've said all that. I know a lot of people tell me, I ain't gonna tell them. They ask me, man, I got my parachute in the trunk of my car. I'm gonna keep my motorcycle at my cousin's house. This is the final one I'm gonna tell you about, lying on your application. If you get caught lying on your application, this is huge. If you misrepresent your health, your habits, your medical history to get a lower rate, and the insurance company finds out either when you apply or after the claim is filed, like, this motorcycle's been registered in his name since before the policy was signed. At least there's a insurance database you guys should know about. You get insurance over here, health insurance, even though we're dealing with life insurance or car insurance, in the back somewhere, in the back of that big old huge virtual warehouse, they're connected. They said, before I pay off on his life insurance, could you let me know that this man who passed away in a motorcycle accident, how long has he been paying for motorcycle insurance? You don't want them to find out that you had motorcycle insurance before you got this policy, that you was paying for motorcycle insurance before you got this policy, that you had a bank loan on a motorcycle before you got this policy. Okay, so they can deny your claim or cancel your policy entirely. And under both Georgia and Alabama insurance law, material representation on the application gives the insurer grounds to contest or avoid your policy. So you always want to be honest in your application. Let's say you ride a motorcycle now, and then you get to a certain age, you're like, I'm gonna sell it. You come back in and say, this thing you were charging me more for, can you take it off? You're a smoker, you become a non-smoker. Can you take this off? Yeah. Your policy premium can go down. Now, here's the good news. Even if you have health issues, there are often options, simplified issue or guaranteed issue policies that exist for people who might not qualify for traditional coverage. They may cost more or have lower coverage amounts, but they do exist. You don't want to be just caught with your proverbial pants down or just get caught without, having to come up with your family having to come up with $15,000 for a loved one or yourself, to make sure their final expenses are, something that they would show that you love them. So the worst thing you can do now is assume that, you're uninsurable and never even apply. So, give me a call. We can work that out. But I want to switch gears right now because this is something I'm going to do pretty much every show, because as I tried to categorize this fraud stuff, I said, I'm going to couple it with something else. So that's what I'm doing here. So now it's fraud.
Alert, alert, alert.
You got to keep your head on a swivel, man. You got to slide out there. Pick up that rock.
Alert, Alert. Alert.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Alert. 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 Alert.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Alert.
All right, now you may have heard me talk about this before, but the companies that I work with through as a licensed life insurance broker in Alabama and Georgia, they are some of the most highly rated companies according to Moody's and Morningstar and a couple other rating services. Once they have a product that doesn't meet our high standard, we get rid of it. But with so many people shopping for insurance online, there's been a rise in fake instant approval life insurance offers. Yeah, they doing life insurance fake now. These sites promise guaranteed coverage with no medical exam, super low rates, and approval in minutes. Which I'm like, so you can give me $500,000 a quarter for $20 and I'm 50 years old? Come on, man. In minutes. You enter your information, you start paying premiums, and there's no real policy behind it at all. No actual insurance company, no real coverage, just someone collecting monthly payments on your personal information. Now, how do you protect yourself? Only buy life insurance from a licensed agent or well-known established insurance company. You can either verify the company or the agent's license through your state, department. Anybody selling in your state should have a license as a broker or an agent inside of the state where you live. Now, both Georgia and Alabama have free lookup tools. Matter of fact, you can do it for free. So you ain't gotta pay for it. And be suspicious of any offer that guarantees you approval for everyone at every age with no questions asked. Real insurance involves some level of underwriting, even simplified policies as health questions. Like, yes, we give you guaranteed approval, but if there's something there that's kind of terminal, they want to know about it and they have provisions for that. So just want you to know that. I'm going to try to provide you a fraud tip and a money savings tip, which I want to just switch to right now. Now, this money saving tip could literally pay for your protection. Now, here's the challenge. Pick one costly daily habit and stop. Maybe it's vaping. Maybe it's a couple of sodas a day. Maybe it's grabbing fast food for lunch instead of packing something from home. Let's do the math. You're spending $10 a day on food, fast food lunches. That's about $200 a month. Vaping habit can easily run you $50 to $100 a month. That's expensive for what many consider to be just straight sucking in poison. I don't know which one is dangerous, cigarettes or doggone vaping. So it can cost you hundreds of dollars a month. Even a few sodas, that adds up to $30 or $40 a month over time. I work with a lady who, she probably could take down about 8, 12 ounce. Well, many of you work with this person. A lot of, Diet Cokes. I don't know what it was about Diet Cokes, but she could suck them down, a lot of them. I just add up, even if Walmart was charging her a quarter, you do that every day. And I mean 365, not just because she's at work, but that adds up, you know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, as a former cigarette smoker, I gotta let you know, I stopped a long time ago. But when I go to the store now, especially my Dollar General, I look at the price of cigarettes. I be like, oh my goodness. Like when I got out the game, it was about $3 and something, which is still ridiculous. But I was like a light smoker anyway, but maybe a pack a week, that's $15 a day. Ain't a lot, but I know people putting away a pack a day, a half pack a day. At today's prices, 3 packs a week, that's almost $30 a week. That's a lot of money. Now you want to, you take, compare that to the cost of a term life insurance policy. If that's all you can get, even if you are age 50 and that term life insurance is going to cost you $150, if you smoking 2 packs a week, that's your premium right there. With many healthy adults, a solid term policy can cost anywhere from $20 to $50 a month. That's probably for people under 50, but depending on your age, your health, and how much coverage you get, some people, you'll be good to have $100,000 that lasts you to maybe the age 65 or 70. That's something just to get you across, and then you can save maybe in other ways to pass on an inheritance to your children, or you can go bigger, or you can get a permanent policy in time. A lot of these term policies are convertible to cash value policies, which are permanent policies that you pay until you expire. But that means, just talking about the term for a second, that means that one habit you cut out completely could cover your premium with the money left over. I know where all the Jack and Coke people are. 30 years old, you're drinking Jack and Cokes. You're drinking five of them a weekend. Well, last time I looked, that's $40 a week. You're doing that 3 weekends out the month. Why you're not doing the fourth, I don't know. But that's $120. Can we just have maybe 3 Jack and Cokes or 2 and get you a policy? So here's your action step. Pick that habit. Track is actually what you're spending on it for 1 month, and then redirect that to your term life policy or your permanent life policy. And you're not changing your budget in a drastic way, you're moving money from something that hurts you in your health and in your wallet to something that can protect your family's future. Even if you don't have a family, that's the mistake I made. I bought life insurance after I got married. The day within weeks of getting married, but I kind of should have done that maybe a couple years earlier. But I want to recap this video before we get out of here. Most people can qualify for some form of life insurance. So please call immediately. Even with health issues, call immediately. So don't assume you can't get covered. Call immediate and let me as a professional help you. Always verify. Please, please, please verify the company or the agent. Make sure they're licensed in the state before you pay them a dime online. And try swapping one costly habit that you have for more life insurance, permanent or term, that can protect the people you love the most. And with that, I salute you guys. Thank you for watching for so long. I know it's a long one. Until next time, take care of yourself and God bless.
I look at the children, they need us to stand, to give them a chance at inheriting land. As a licensed agent, I'm breaking it down. The best strategies that I found in the town. Term, whole, or universal, whatever you need. We picking the options where you will succeed. Don't wait for the storm just to look for an arc. Let's write up the contract and leave a home mark. Peace, that's the way that we live. Securing the future and learning to give. No more GoFundMe's to cover the cost. We protecting our families from devastating loss. Yeah, we standing tall and we making it right. Walking out of the dark into the light. And if you need houses to build up the equity, I am the realtor to give you longevity. I match you with properties, match you with growth. Combining the real estate, balancing both. If there's an issue that's out of my zone, I got professionals right on my phone. You're never alone and you never will fall. The infinite living is backing it all. Policy and peace, that's the way